I have myself.
They wanted to come back again.
Let them run out the energy. That beats sitting behind a video game all day.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan. Andy is going to be in here momentarily. We are running late. I apologize. This was my fault. Thanks to daylight savings time, I'm not used to coming out here with the still daylight. I had to bring both sets of my glasses. I'm going to get started real quick with a couple of announcements. I'm Evan, executive, certified trained out of 6 Hour Academy. I am the chief firearms instructor of Tactful Tactical. Tactful Tactical is our parent company. And Andy is a Navy vet. He will be in here soon. He's just taking care of some business outside in the parking lot. Some very brief announcements before we get really started. We lost a couple of people, one hero, this week. My buddy James Lang passed away the other day of complications. He went to sleep. He went peacefully. It had nothing to do with COVID. Even though he had a breathing problem, it had nothing to do with COVID. Okay. He was a heavy smoker. The other one, the Canadian sniper who went to Ukraine, a Spetsnaz commando, killed him while he was serving in Ukraine. So he is deceased as of now. And those are the two major announcements that I have. Hey, Bubba.
Sorry. Had a little bit of emergency. I had to make a phone call and...
What else is new?
All the things.
I just got finished telling them that we just lost my buddy James Lang and the sniper from Canada. The Canadian sniper.
What, in Ukraine?
In Ukraine. Yes, he was killed this week.
I didn't hear that. That's a shame.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I tell you, I hope I hope that, honestly, I hope the world is willing to. I heard a discussion today where they talked about, well, you can't give people like this anything because that, you know, we can't something like we can't reward behavior like this by allowing him to have anything. And it's like, well, first of all, don't you realize that we've been doing the same thing that he did for like 40 years, 30 years? Desert Storm, I guess, right? Like Vietnam even. I mean, you know, like our country, we aren't really one to talk when it comes down to
how to treat other countries.
Right, yeah, you know, keeping our military out of other countries. And like, you know, we can claim all of the righteousness that we want, but at the end of the day,
nobody's righteous.
You know, ask the people in Libya how they like our democracy. I give you a hint. They are now run by warlords, and so that's something that's interesting. Before we came in and helped take out Gaddafi, they had free health care, free education up through college. He would give 0% interest loans for people to buy a house if you wanted to buy a house. If you wanted to be a farmer, he would pay for all of the training, the seeds, the fertilizer, to help to become a successful farmer. Free gym memberships, free gas. He would help first-time car buyers buy a car, okay? And guess how much the income tax was? Nothing. There was zero income tax, right? They didn't pay income tax. Why? Because Gaddafi sold oil, and then he used the profits from the oil to live a good life himself, but then to help his people to live a good life, right?
I mean, it's not
so much money.
But you know, there again, he was competing with Hillary.
Well, exactly. Okay, so that's one thing. Number two was that he actually what was number two? Hold on a second. Let me think. I had it. Hold on. Okay.
ADD.
Yep. I saw a squirrel and I just. But anyway, so he was not part of the central banking system as well, and refused to join. And when the people say he was a dictator, that's what I was going to say. People say he was a dictator and that he killed people that spoke out against him. That's sort of true. He actually killed the Islamic extremists, the people that came in and took over after he was taken out, the extremists that are in control right now. Those are the people that Gaddafi had killed, right? So yes, he was a dictator. Yes, he had people killed, but most of the people that he had killed were terrorists, okay? And so, look, you know, say what you will, but the people in Libya now would say, screw your government, screw your democracy, because our democracy has not made their quality of life any better.
Well, let me. You're going to get a kick out of this. The entire Biden.
Are we streaming? Just make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
On Tactful Tactical.
Yeah.
Our administrators, first time that I can remember, have been sanctioned by Russia, including.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, including Bill and Hillary Clinton. Gee, and you know what? Where's Trump and all that? Why isn't Trump sanctioned? They said that he had Russians help him get elected. Really? None of the Trump family up there. Now, Hunter Biden's all over it. Daddy Biden's all over it. All them got sanctioned.
Yeah.
But Trump didn't.
So we have some situational awareness stuff. So we've talked on the show about Forward Observer. Forward Observer is a YouTube channel, but they also have a website. It's a subscription service. It's $10 a month or $99 for the year. We get nothing for promoting this, okay? It's just, this is something that I think is invaluable information. I paid the $99 for the year to get access to their intel report. They have a situational awareness report every single day, and the stuff that they put in this thing is just absolutely incredible. You can log onto their website, you can pull up a PDF version, or every morning they send you an email with the highlights of the situational awareness report. And so I'm going to read some of that through this right now, and we'll expand upon it. I also have the Epic Times here. This is another thing that I personally subscribe to. Get nothing for giving them a plug. It is just probably one of the best news.
They got some really good articles.
Yeah, it's the best news. And look, folks, if you don't get a paper newspaper, there's something to it. There's something nostalgic about being able to sit down and read the paper that I think has been lost in this generation. And so if you don't get that, check out the Epic Times. It's $19 a month, I think, $16 or $19 a month, and it every single week they send you a new newspaper, just like the regular newspaper. Now, Epic Times, just a little history, they started out only putting printing presses in tyrannical regimes, and so like I don't remember which countries they are, but like I know they have one in China right now, and they're being their facility is constantly under attack by the Chinese Communist Party, literally under attack. They have people coming in and like starting fires and destroying their equipment and all kinds of stuff like that. So the Epic Times, you know, then that they are a source of
when your paper is getting fireburned, firebombed, you
tells you something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Ford Observer. So one of the headlines here is Russian hackers exploit multi-factor authentication weakness. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, released a joint statement detailing how Russian hackers exploited misconfigured multi-factor authentication, say that 3 times fast, MFA protocols in an unnamed non-governmental entity. After bypassing MFA, the groups were able to access cloud and email accounts for document exfiltration.
Oh, Jesus.
The analyst comment here is, this event interferes with CISA's strategy to get state and local governments to adopt MFA as a standard to secure their systems. CISA Director Jen Easterly has cited to governments that MFA prevented 99.9% of account compromises. Yeah, so they are exploiting our weaknesses. Here's the other thing that I want to show you. This is very interesting. Hopefully we can get a good, if I have to, I'll jump over and we can I can zoom in, but all right, yeah, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna flip this bad boy around, then I'm gonna hop over to that side of the table, and I'm gonna kind of point out what we're looking at here.
Can you flip that around? Make it like a tablet?
No.
No.
Alright, let's see. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So, what we have here is a real-time live global map of all of the cyber attacks and vulnerabilities globally. So, let's see. Let me refresh the page. This is cybermap.kaspersky.com, okay? And now, so what you'll notice here is this is the United States. Currently, pretty much everything everything that's happening regarding the United States is coming from the United States. And so you can see it's up here in the north, maybe Chicago area, maybe it looks like. And then over here we have what looks like maybe Nevada. And we have, these are all cyber attacks that are coming out of our country. And so we have some that are coming down here into South America. It looks like to about Brazil. It's a rough estimate because it's hard to really, they use like proxies and stuff like that, so it's really hard to kind of have an exact idea of where they're going, but they're going down to South America. And then here, it looks like there are some that are being, that are going across like into Europe, into Eastern Europe, into like and then here we go, is Russia. And so Russia has a little stream of attacks that are coming from Russia over to the United States. These little things are spikes. These little cone things. They're spikes in cyber activity. And so basically we don't know where exactly those are going, but we know that here in India they are sending out a large quantity of cyber stuff, cyber attacks, viruses, all kinds of stuff. It could be, there's a lot of stuff that it can be. I am not the tech guy, so this is just something that I'm just learning myself, but this is a very interesting data point here. You scroll over here and you look, you have 2 large spikes in China, okay? And we don't know, again, where those are directed to. We just know that there are large spikes of cyber activity that are coming from those 2 areas, and they're going somewhere. We don't know if they're going to the US, Taiwan, I don't know, but they are going somewhere. So this map, if you can't find it, just go to real-time cyber threat map, and you'll be able to find it. It's usually the first link. But it's really interesting to watch and see. This is an indicator as to how things are going on a global scale, because really, folks, the next World War III, probably is not going to be mostly fought on foot, with troops on troops. Not saying it's not going to be an element, but the majority of it is going to be economic, it's going to be cyber, it's going to be infrastructure, and this will kind of give you a little bit of a heads up on like when all of that is happening, when the balloon goes up, so to speak. So it's a really good resource. There's like a legend or a key down here. You can click on the different things and see what exactly they mean, the different things mean. So that blue one, is like, oh no, that's not it. Ransomware, let's see. No, this thing's not gonna go.
What about spyware? Did they show that?
Yeah, they do.
Malware, spyware.
Yeah, virus. It just says virus.
Virus.
Like this blue one looks like it's virus activity that they're sending, and so my guess is that they are actually.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool. So it'll follow the little.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That looks like some Star Wars.
It traces out exactly where the signal is going, from and to, and yeah, it's interesting. It's really kind of neat. So.
My big head.
So I just wanted to show that to you. It's just kind of a data point that as you're looking into this stuff, because folks, look, we are responsible for learning the truth ourselves. Unfortunately, we really can't trust anything at all our government says.
Good. It's funny you bring that up. I was watching The Five.
Yeah.
And on The Five, no, wasn't no, it was Louder with Crowder. Louder with Crowder was talking about what CNN was saying, that Biden's poll numbers are below 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, it was some, but it's CNN.
Mm-hmm. And, they're like 37%, aren't they?
I'm like, oh, it's below that.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's below that.
Yeah.
My neighbors who voted for him have been,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those people.
yeah, they're quiet now.
Yeah.
You know, a year ago we were, what, $2 a gallon? $2 a gallon.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Is like they're telling us that, oh, it's the war in you. It's Putin. Putin caused the gas price to go up. Well, look, folks,
No.
like just a month ago, prior to any of this Putin stuff, gas, like I have to pay super for I have turbos in my truck, and so I have to pay for super. And so just like 3 weeks ago, before any of this Russia stuff happened, I was paying like $4.39 a gallon. Okay, post Russia stuff, I'm paying like $5 a gallon. Okay, and
Yeah.
like that, like it's a hike, it's an increase, but like it was already freaking high. Like it was already high, and that's not because of Putin. That had nothing to do with Putin.
It had nothing to do with Putin. That was a moment that Biden took office. Executive orders.
Yep, Keystone Pipeline, taking out all of Trump's executive orders.
Yeah.
Everything that made us independent, energy independent, he undid.
And now we're paying the cost of that.
Yep. So next thing on the list here is White House starts new supply chain data sharing program. The Biden administration announced data sharing program among key supply chain industries that will give the federal government access to mitigate supply chain vulnerabilities and congestion. The program is called the Freight Logistics Optimization Works, or FLOW. Department of Transportation Secretary Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Yeah, the one that says you don't need an AR-15.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, yeah.
Stated that sharing data is key to making the most of physical infrastructure we have. Under the program, the federal government will get access to more data in domestic logistics, trucking, warehousing, and port industries. And so, folks, I'm a big reader. I like to read books. I didn't always, but like sometime in my mid-20s, I just really discovered books as a form of escapism, right? And so, one of the classic books that I've read, one of my favorite books, is Atlas Shrugged. It's a big book, Ayn Rand. Highly recommend it if you are into anything to do with tyranny and freedom and government and economics. And so essentially what happens in Atlas Shrugged is that there were several catalysts that made it so the government had the right to take over all of these things. Everything is listed here. So they could take over industry. You know, they would claim it was an emergency and whatnot. And then just like today, they took those things and they forced their the people that were against their stocks and things like that out of business. And it was a big mess. And so, but this is it. This is exactly
what we're going through now.
It's in the book. It's in Atlas Shrugged.
1984.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another really good one. Chinese secret police campaign inside the U.S. The Justice Department announced charges against 5 individuals for stalking, harassing, and spying on U.S. residents for the Chinese government, from bribes to blackmail, forgeries. Operatives worked on behalf of China's Ministry of State Security to intimidate dissidents, exiles, and a congressional candidate. An FBI rep said these indictments should serve as a stark warning to the MSS and all the foreign intelligence agencies that their efforts at repression will not be tolerated within our borders. Okay, so it's like, okay, here we have now the Chinese government in our country, you know, pushing their agenda.
Also, let's not forget that Harry Reid had all northern Nevada almost sold to China, but we stopped that.
Yep. As far as weather goes in this area here in PA, we have just a rain is the biggest threat at this point. Rain and thunderstorms. We have rain and thunderstorms in the mid-U.S. And some severe thunderstorms in East Texas.
And ask me if that's shocked. Yeah, ask me if I'm shocked.
Yeah. So there was something else here. Okay, so it's not on this, but I also just read that the two biggest ammo manufacturers in the country back in December announced that they were going to have 2 to 8% increases on their ammo, guns, and mostly ammo and guns. And so, Vista Outdoors?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vista Outdoors. Okay, so Vista Outdoors, they announced this, and they own brands, Vista Outdoors. So they own Federal. They owned CCI. They own Remington, Spear.
Federal.
Yep, Federal. They own Hops 9. They own Blackhawk, Bushnell,
Eagle.
yep, Tasco.
RCB is RCBS.
Redfield.
Butter Creek.
And so Uncle Mike's, for all you Uncle Mike's people out there. Okay, so a bunch of different gun companies, they announced in between a 2 and 8% increase, and this was back in December. They had announced this, okay, on their company, their like yearly report or whatever for stockholders. Now, since then, commodity prices have gone up 40%. So here's what that means. First of all, we already have confirmation that people are panic buying because of this whole Ukraine thing. People are going out to the store and they're buying up ammo because they think war is coming right here to the U.S. Maybe it is. I don't know. But here's the thing. So we already have this panic buying, and now we are going to see ammo prices go up. And
Gotcha.
I think pretty substantially. They were saying, in between 2 to 8%. Back in December, we've had a 40% increase in metals and components to put ammunition together and whatnot, and so that's going to lead to higher percentage of increase.
Great, here we go again.
I honestly, I don't know that we will ever go back to seeing ammo. And it's funny, we said this back during like the
COVID, height of COVID.
Even before then, like back, was it like back like when Trump first got elected or something, when ammo was or during the Trump election or something along those lines, we had ammo prices were like through the roof and it was hard to find. And we said we both agreed that ammo prices are never going to go back down
to where they were.
Like at one point, like pre-Trump, even Obama, you could buy 1,000 rounds of 9mm for like,
$200.
Yeah, $200, $180, and recently, so prices have gone back down. Recently, like $250 to $300, and now we're going to see those go up again. And so, I'm going to make that same statement that I don't think that we're going to ever see.
I think it's going to be like the good old days.
Yep.
I think a comedian said our generation, we're Generation Xers here. Our generation, we're old now.
I know.
We're the old guys.
Yeah.
We're the OGs. They're not even looking at the baby boomers.
Yep.
The Vietnam vets. That's us.
Yeah.
Now.
Yep.
We're their age now.
Yeah, they're dying off. Yeah.
They're dying off. So it's funny how we're the old guys.
Yeah. Not funny. I'm going back to college, and
it's not fun. I'm sorry.
These kids are kids. I mean, they're half my age or more, and I'm going to college with these kids, and it's interesting because I hear them sitting talking about like the troubles that are in their lives, and I'm like, oh my God, if you only knew. Right. So okay. So Wall Street Journal reported that Saudi Arabian officials are considering the use of the Chinese yuan, right?
Yuan, yeah.
In foreign
yen.
Is it? How you say?
Yeah, yen. They give it to you in Chinese.
Yeah.
Yen. It's yen.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Chinese, okay. Sorry about that.
They actually give it to you in Chinese.
That doesn't help. This week, Wall Street Journal reported that Saudi Arabian officials are considering the use of Chinese yen in foreign oil sales. The news preceded a flurry of social media activity about the dollar's imminent loss of its world reserve status. Okay, so what does that mean? The only thing, so let's go back a little bit. So back in, at some point,
It was 2000. I think it was like 2012, 2010.
So, okay, I thought so. 1971. In
1971. Okay, you're going all the way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 1971, prior to 1971, our dollar was based off of how much gold and silver that we had stored up, right? And so,
in Fort Knox.
Yeah, and so what it was, when you look at these old dollars, it says that it's a note, right? And that note is meant to be in a direct exchange for an equal value in gold or silver,
Yep.
right? And so that's what it was based on. Post 1971, we became a debt-based society, okay? And so instead of our dollar being based on gold, the value of our dollar is now based off how much debt we have, and theoretically how much we produce as a country, right? And
The Fed did that.
yeah, and so now dollars are created via the bank, and the way that they're created is called reserve.
Federal Reserve.
No, it's a reserve currency, and so
Yeah, reserve currency.
so it's basically, here's the idea: is
our dollars ain't worth a damn.
every dollar that's actually in the bank is legally allowed to loan $10. So they don't have to have $10 to loan $10. They only have to have $1. Okay, fractional reserve banking is what it's called. And so what that does is it means that, like, if I give them $1, they can loan somebody 10, and then they can make interest on that. Let's just say it's right now credit card interest rates are going up on average from 17% to about 26, 27%, all the way down from like 9, 10, 13% is what they were at, and now they're up to in between 17% and 27%. Huge credit card rate increases. Yeah. But what they do is they loan that $10 and say let's just say they loan it at 10%, right? And so then every month they're making $1 off of that $10 loan, and that is now how money is created. In 10 months, they have made $10 more. So they've doubled their money in 10 months, and they produced nothing, right? And they didn't have the money to loan.
We didn't. We're not a nation that produces anything anymore.
No, exactly. We're very little.
Very little.
And so, the world has agreed, since we had a strong economy, to use our dollar as the metric for trade in oil. And what that means then is that our dollar is viewed as strong, because they say, oh, this is a strong currency and nothing can happen to it. The country's going to hold strong and firm. All of these other countries, they might be in turmoil. They might fluctuate with their economy, but the dollar is stable, or at least it was. And so
now it ain't stable.
Now it's not stable. So Saudi Arabia, who is one of our, first of all, they're the biggest state sponsor of terrorists, and they are the largest perpetrators of human rights violations. If you are homosexual in Saudi Arabia, they are throwing you off a roof, guaranteed.
With a piano wire around your neck.
It is a terrible, terrible place for human rights, okay? But hey, we're worried about human rights, right? We're worried about Ukraine in this, but Saudi Arabia, they're fine. Why? Because we get oil from Saudi Arabia, and
at the kingdom.
Right. Yep. And so, but now the Saudis are saying that they're not really interested in the dollar anymore. They want to go to China, because China's economy is proving to be more stable than our economy, and that should be scary. Really scary. People are saying that Russia, or they're getting all these sanctions, is really hurting them. Guess what? I know a guy in Russia, great YouTube channel, Survival Russia. Check him out. His name is Lars. I've talked to him a handful of times. Good guy. But so Survival Russia, every week he goes to the store and he looks at the shelves to show you what's on the shelves, and he shows you the prices, and then he goes to the gas station, he shows you the gas. So the shelves in Russia, completely full, not a single thing missing. Prices have not changed. The only thing that's changed is there's a sign on some items that say that you're limited to how many you could buy, but there are plenty of them at this point, and this far, sanctions have been imposed for a while.
And we got shelves that are almost bare here.
Gas prices in Russia have gone down like $1 a liter or something like that. I'm not sure, but they've gone down.
Yeah, they're leaders. They're leaders over there.
Yeah, they've gone down. Okay, and so, well, it's rubles, right?
Rubles.
Yeah. So it's going to. I think it's going down like a ruble a liter. But the point is our
that's still a lot.
Yeah, our gas prices have gone up by over $1 a gallon. Theirs have gone down a ruble a liter, right? And how many liters are in a gallon? I don't know. A liter's less than a gallon.
Yeah.
So that's probably.
What? Don't try to get me started on that math.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, in Russia, it's gone down. Here, it's gone up, right? So here's the thing, right? Sanctions. They've devalued the Russian dollar, the ruble, right? Okay, great. Compared to what? Compared to the U.S. dollar.
Hey, my question is, hey guys, we're looking for some yachts. There's some mega yachts I hear that are
Right? Yeah.
Can we do some bidding on that? Just out of curiosity.
Look, Putin, if you have a mega yacht that you're trying to hide, I might know somebody that will take that off your hands for a little while, right? And all that person, a friend of mine, all that person asks in return is for the fuel of that yacht to be paid for, because that person doesn't have money to fuel something like that, and just access to it year round, and that's it. I mean, not me, but the person I know, they're not asking for much.
Yeah, we just got a mutual friend.
Yeah, so if you need somebody, President Putin, to hold on to your mega yacht, shoot us an email, tacticaltacticalusa.com, and we'll get you in contact with this friend of ours. Okay? His name rhymes with Schmandy Fredman. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. All right. So U.S. is going to lose its status as the world's currency, most likely. It's probably not going to happen within this year, but we're going to see.
Let's see what happens after the election.
Yeah, that's.
And it's going to be very interesting. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, Doug Marciano, is on the ballot.
Yeah,
he needed 2,500 signatures. You know what he got? 25,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
Then you had that guy up in Scranton. I've forgotten his name. Forgive me. He needed the same.
Yeah.
He got like 14,000 signatures. So the two guys that are pro-gun, GOA-backed representatives that you know is going to stand up for our rights is up there. People did not know this, but in the bill to help Ukraine, all that millions of dollars, we had some gun control.
I was just gonna touch on that.
It's ESP. Me and you have ESP.
I know. It's funny. I was just gonna touch on it. That's funny.
Well, we show up at the same restaurants together in Carbon Steel, you know. We bum rush Carbon Steel. But the
omnibus bill that they passed,
yeah,
which was framed as giving money and resources to Ukraine.
Yeah,
that was like the title of it. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, it's
it was 34 Republicans.
Yeah,
that signed on it.
I think that was just in the House. Senate. I don't know. One of the.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look. I can look it up real quick. Go ahead and talk, and I'll.
Anyway, what this bill does now, it's this weak. It's this back door, so it's not drastic, but it says if you fail a NICS check, you would be criminally investigated from the local police department.
Yep.
That is the biggest thing right there, folks. And how that works, basically, is you need to become a member of a firearm insurance. And if you ever get denied a NICS check or whatever, that's when you go da-da-da-da-da. And you can call that number and they'll give you a lawyer. Because that's what it's going to take if they treat you like a criminal.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So it was like they were given this 2,000-page bill to read.
2,700-page bill.
To read overnight. And so, of course, nobody read the thing overnight.
We must pass it to know what's in it.
Yep. And so that was one of them. And the other one was the Safe...
Women's Safe Act. Which is like a red flag.
Yeah.
It's a weak red flag. It's still a red flag law, but it's weak. It's not. They couldn't pass a real heavy
Violence Against Women Act.
Yeah, Violence Against Women Act.
And sorry, folks, I should have had all this stuff already.
It's okay.
But the Violence Against Women Act creates and supports comprehensive, cost-effective responses to the pervasive and insidious crimes of domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking. So essentially, part of this Violence Against Women Act is like a red flag law where all that has to happen is somebody say that somebody is a threat, and that is enough then for the government to come in without due process, take away your guns, and then give you due process later. And so it is essentially a red flag law, and that was built into this omnibus bill.
And here's the thing about that, folks. You do a no-knock warrant.
And that's how they do most of these.
And that's how they do those. That is you're actually murdering your spouse, your ex-spouse, via the police.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It's
legally
murder by a cop for sure.
Murder by a cop.
And so it's dangerous. Like Evan said, these bills aren't like massive. Like, okay, they're coming to take our guns, but it is. People talk about how Trump was like an enemy to the Second Amendment because he passed bump stock ban. Right? We were against the bump stock ban. We voiced out against it numerous times, and to this day still do. Right? But we've heard a lot of times, in the past year or so, how Biden has never passed a single gun control law, whereas Trump passed several. Okay, well, so yeah, you got me right. But guess what? Now we have two. Right now we have two that were passed within one law that are 100% 2A. Okay, you cannot say, "Yep, I'm pro Second Amendment," but because the answer is then no, you're not.
Yep.
Okay, you're not.
And guess what? Lindsey Graham, there was 33 Rhino Republicans.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Those 33 Republicans just got replaced by Doug Mastrianos in their home state.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what needs to happen.
And then here's what's going to happen. The first person that gets killed by one of these bills or gets treated like a criminal from one of these bills, it's going to go straight to the Supreme Court, and they're going to get overturned.
Yep. Yeah, the Denial Notification Act was the second bill that was inside of this omnibus bill, and so basically that means. And here's the thing, folks: 90% of the rejections from the NICS background check
Or false positive.
false positives. What that means is that, you know, you could have nothing wrong, right? And for maybe your name is similar to somebody else that's a felon,
or they actually have the same name as you.
yeah, we've seen that before. There are people, somebody that was killed on death row had the same name as somebody, and
he runs, and he's a manager at a gun shop.
yeah, and it's like he goes to buy a gun, and every time, you know, it gets kicked back because, well, guess what? Now, anytime he buys a gun, it's gonna get denied, and per federal law now, he's going to get investigated by the police. Now, here is the interesting thing.
He's a cop. He's a retired cop.
Now, you might say, like, oh, that's not such a bad thing, but the reality is that an investigation doesn't need to be done, right? The police say that
that's a waste of manpower.
Yep, and say that did get sent to the police. All they would have to do is type in that person's name, and they get a report automatically of that person's.
Yeah, but the way this is going to go, they're going to get arrested.
They're going to come to your house at least. You know, they're going to call you at least. They're going to harass you. They're going to do stuff to harass you when it's unnecessary. And it's unnecessary use of resources, time, money, and it doesn't help or accomplish anything. It's just more gun rights.
It's just harassment.
Yep.
It's harassment for people who want to buy one of these.
Yep.
For self-defense. And guess what? I'm going to love it when a Democrat gets that.
Yeah, no doubt. So definitely, you know, two things. First of all, you want to join up to Gun Owners of America. It's like $20 or $25. I think it's $20 a year. Maybe it's 25. But
and you want to do like a firearms. What is that? The U.S. Law Shield.
Yep. Something like that.
Yeah. U.S. Law Shield is what you need.
Yeah. Something that allows you to have insurance, and that you can get insurance, firearms insurance for anywhere for like $14 or $15 a month up to like $60 a month, depending on what you're looking for and the type of coverage you're looking for. And it's going to protect you for stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have that and the cops show up to your door, and here's the thing, right? If a cop's having a bad day and you know they don't like you, they can throw handcuffs on you. They can put you in a jail cell for 24 hours with no actual probable cause, just suspicion of you could have committed a crime. So we had to keep you in custody just to make sure that you didn't before we released you. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it could, right? Legally in our system, that could happen. We could easily see this as a tactic to be used against gun owners in this country to make it difficult to own guns. And let's just say they do that, right? They come into your house and they see that you got a little bit of weed or you got a shotgun that you cut the barrel down on illegally, or you got a solvent trap that you had cut into a suppressor, or some harmless thing that's otherwise. Well, guess what? Now you're going to prison.
Yeah.
It's a foot in the door.
It's a foot in the door.
Yep. Let's see here.
Oh, and we also had a serial killer get caught in New York.
Yeah, homeless guy or something, was he? Or was he killing homeless people?
He was killing homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that pretty much wraps us up for the news. Hopefully, folks, we've said this before. We don't like doing news, like, at all. We don't like it. That's why I don't prepare a report like the situational awareness report that Forward Observer does, because I don't like it. I don't like the news. It's depressing.
Well, we do that for the first half of the show, but I mean, this show, I don't want to talk about gun control.
No.
That passed. I want to talk about some new guns. I want to talk about some new ammo, something of that nature.
Alabama, here's a good thing. Alabama becomes the 22nd.
And Ohio becomes a constitutional carry state.
And Indiana lawmakers send permitless carry to governor. So I don't know if that got.
I don't think that's going to get passed.
But we have states that are passing that left and right, making it so that way, the Constitution is your carry permit. You don't need to carry a permit in order to carry a gun.
And Geraldo Rivera on the 5 the other day, he said, that's scary, da-da-da-da. Well, let me...
Who said that?
Geraldo, yeah. I want to enlighten you here. The other day, I went to go check on Jimmy's apartment. Okay, I did this last night.
Yeah.
We got a report. Jimmy's gone. There should be nobody in his apartment. It was a false alarm. No big deal. But I went out there to check on it. I went out there with my shoulder holster, 45, check on the place, went home. No, nothing happened. Let me tell you something. In New York City, yes, there's violence in that area. There's this, there's that. You know that. It's around Pine Street. Very highly recommended, on the tour books around here.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is, because we're armed, because of that, the crime that happens is pretty much directed at a certain individual. They're targeted.
Oh, yeah.
Here. Just like that brother and sister.
Yep.
Okay? That brother and sister, the sister shot her brother. Okay? Let me deep down go in there what they're not telling you about that. That was drug related.
Oh, of course.
That was totally 100%. He smoked my crack.
Yeah.
So I smoked him.
Yeah.
These people that get on these illicit drugs are not in their right mind, folks.
Right. Well, up to 2.5 million times a year, firearms are used to prevent crime, right? Up to 2.5 million times a year, Americans use guns to stop rapes, murders, thefts, robberies, assaults.
Without calling the police.
A lot of times without calling the police. And then that's not even to mention the amount of crimes that are prevented when somebody is open carrying a firearm and somebody was going to a predator. We all know predators go after the weakest prey, right? A predator was going to victimize somebody and they saw that person was carrying a gun and they were like, nope, not messing with that person, not worth my life. I'm moving on to a weak person that's not carrying a gun. That's how it works. We don't know how many of those are out there, but there's up to 2.5 million times in this country where firearms are used defensively, and that's why constitutional carry is such a strong and powerful tool that we should absolutely pass.
Here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. Constitutional carry is for the people who are elderly. They ain't got the money to go take one of our classes.
Mm-hmm.
But wait a minute. They got that old 38.
Yeah.
They've got that old 32 Smith & Wesson or whatever they got. Let me just holster that up and walk out the door.
Yeah.
That's who that's really for.
Well, if they say that driver's licenses are racist because they're claim
give me a break. Give me a break.
Get driver's licenses. It's the same.
I had to get to buy a pack of cigarettes the other day for the guy who passed. I had to show my driver's license just to pick up a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, folks.
Yep. Well, we are out of time.
It is 8:30.
We got 14 seconds, folks. So look, keep an eye on this stuff. Check out Forward Observer. Check out Monkey Works. They do the planes and all that stuff. Check out, check those places out. Check us out next Thursday. We'll be here, same place, same time. I'm Andy.
And I'm Evan.
Deplorable General. Over and out. Man, just stop the vibe. Somebody put that there on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't gone to the governor yet in Indiana. I mean, I guess, I don't know, it might have gone, but he hasn't done anything to it.
Yeah, well, they got enough people to